days ago. I know it seems like, well, you only had it for a few days. How you gonna be able to make a first impressions or a review of this thing? Well, it's very simple. This has been my main thing now for since I got it. Like, I had the 64 gig card up in there, right? I've already removed that card and added a 256 gigabyte SD card in this. So I've already expanded the memory on it, and I've already added way more games to it than what that 64 had. And I added games to that 64 gig as well. But now I have an entire generation at my fingertips of games that I either wanted to play back then or be played back then and just want to play now. And this device is definitely put me back into a better mindset when it comes to video games in general, just because so much shit's been going on from Activision Blizzard and Ubisoft to even Sony's own fucking executives getting called out so far fucking much that they fired a guy who was allegedly trying to hook up with a 15-year-old. And this happened after Sony publicly tried to talk shit on Activision Blizzard. And I'm just saying, like, with all that going on in gaming, it's hard to enjoy things like Halo Infinite. It's hard to enjoy things in current generation gaming. And with this device, with this little device here, I can easily remove myself from all that going on and play games again. You dig what I'm saying? I don't have to focus in on how shitty Activision Blizzard is, because while I'm playing 4 Tony Hawk games, I'm not giving Activision Blizzard anything. You dig what I'm saying? When I'm playing a game of Activision Blizzard like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, I have the remasters, the remake or whatever the fuck you want to call that one of 1 and 2. Yeah, I have that. I bought that game before I knew how bad of a company Activision Blizzard was, because I'm a huge Tony Hawk's Pro Skater fucking fan. That game, I played it on the N64, I played it on PlayStation, and even me being a Nintendo guy, I am very Nintendo biased. I will tell you that up front. I grew up playing Nintendo. My hat is a Zelda hat. Nintendo. You dig what I'm saying? I'm wearing a Mario t-shirt. Says Phil the Burn. I am a Nintendo guy. I have Nintendo around me at 99, if not 100% of the time. But what I can tell you is that when it comes to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the definitive version of that game was definitely on the PlayStation. And the reason I say that is because the music was uncensored. So the whole game was uncut, so you could play it the way it was meant to be. So it's PlayStation. You do what I'm saying? And that's coming from a guy who played it on the N64, who loves the N64 version of the game just as much. But I also love the soundtrack to Tony Hawk's games. They kind of were a big deal for Tony Hawk games when they came out. The soundtrack had to be a certain sound, and that's what made those games so iconic. So when I say it's on PlayStation, believe me, it's because of the soundtrack. I can do all the same shit on the N64. There's no difference in how I play between the two. But the reason it's on PlayStation is because it is uncut. Because that's the way the game was meant to be played. And unfortunately, Nintendo took that L when they cut that soundtrack for, the fact that it's family friendly. So they took a L with that. But that doesn't mean that I think the N64 was a bad console. Hell, it's my favorite Nintendo console, to be honest with you. I love the Nintendo 64 so much that you could say I'm a fanboy of the N64. But I wouldn't say I'm a fanboy of the N64. I just love the fact that Mario, I feel like during the N64, that was the one time we saw Mario go fully upgraded. I mean, think about it. Even in HD, I don't think I would say he's had such an impact as he did with Mario 64, because Mario 64 was the comparison with Mario Odyssey. They were like, we're trying to recapture that Mario 64. Well, why don't you just update the graphics to Mario 64? I'm just saying, if you updated to the HD style of graphics and just put that Mario 64 game with those graphics, you could sell it again and it worked perfectly fine. But my point is that this device right here, I'm playing Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, mainly Magi Nation Game Boy Color. I even bought a Game Boy Color just for Magi Nation. Yes, I have a physical Game Boy Color, and the only game I own on it is Magi Nation. It's on this device. This is a full lit screen, so that game is easy to see, easy to play, easy to enjoy. Got Super Nintendo on here, you know, the NES on here, Sega Master System, the Sega Genesis, the Sega Game Gear. While I haven't played the Game Gear, and I'm not that big of a Game Gear fan, I'm going to tell the truth, it's able to be played on here. And one thing about this is, if you are really into video games, there was a time in your life, even if it's just recent, where you thought to yourself, you know how dope it would be to play PlayStation games and Xbox games and Nintendo games on the same console? That way you can just be like, what do I feel like playing? And plug it in. Well, this right here, this emulation thing right here is the retro answer. What can I play Nintendo 64 games on? PlayStation 1 games, Game Boy Color, a few PSP, the DS, you know, Sega Genesis, even the Dreamcast. Where can I play all those games at if I don't own the consoles individually? Right here. And it's digital. This is fucking insane, man. I'm telling you. And the screen is, yes, it's a small screen, and people always shit on the screen size. But I'm telling you, when you consider the visuals of these retro games, the small screen is such a beneficial thing to have, because the picture is now more compressed, and because of that, and it's on a smaller screen, it's able to look a little bit better. A lot of the time with the older games, they looked worse on a bigger screen. So when it comes to older consoles, I prefer the smaller screen. I'm looking at getting my third PlayStation Vita by like February of next year, because emulation for the Vita is going apeshit crazy, and the Vita is a very capable fucking handheld. Sony made one hell of a fucking emulation machine with the PS Vita. This is one hell of an emulation machine. And with the PS Vita, here's the thing. We can now purchase what are those? What the fuck are these things called? I have a few of them, and oddly enough, this thing right here, they have this type of thing, and the reason I'm pointing it out is there's a micro SD card in here. This thing right here, they have it in the size to go into the PS Vita, so you can get you a big ass fucking Vita memory card, get you a big ass SD card, get like a 500 gig SD card, slide that bitch up in there, and now you got 500 gigs in your PS Vita. Do you know what 500 gigs on a PS Vita could do? Bro, that is a lot of content. Do you not understand that? Do you not get PlayStation 1 titles A lot of those games are under a gig. A big portion of them are under a gig. 500 gigs. Do you realize that not even Final Fantasy 7 is over 2 gigs? I think it's like a gig and a half. Final Fantasy 8, again, a gig and a half. Fucking, there's a 256 gigabyte card in this device, and it's got Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, Chrono Cross, Tales of Destiny 1 and 2. These are games that have like multiple discs. Metal Gear Solid 1, multiple disc games. They're on here, and it still has room, still has a lot of space on this memory card. This is why I've been talking about it on my Twitter so much, and why I'm talking about it now so soon after doing the unboxing video where I just got it. Because this thing needs way more attention. And I get the gaming media does not like the word emulation. They hate it. And I need to point this out because I know you heard that dink when I knocked the little metal, this thing to this, like I just knocked into it. This is actually a metal console, unlike the Nintendo Switch, which is plastic. This is actually a metal console. I believe this is aluminum metal, but it's a metal console, and it weighs almost the same amount as a Nintendo Switch, if I'm being honest with you. Because it's metal, it weighs the same to me. But it feels good when I'm holding it to play a game. It feels perfectly fine. These things on the back, I have no idea who these are for. Every video is like, oh, I just love the rubber grips. And I'm like, I don't even really feel them when I'm playing. As you could, like, see, I'm not even remotely using the, like, it's not there. So when I'm playing it, I don't even notice them. But I mean, it's dope. But one thing, this is what drew me to this particular device. One is a Jim Sterling video. Because he was playing and he was like, hang on a second, he's talking about all the games he had on it, and I was like, I need that machine. And I went back and found it because I didn't know what the name of it was. So shout out to Jim Sterling for showing off a device like this. And then I just went and found it on Amazon. This is a hell of a device and deserves way more coverage for being able to do something that the major three don't seem to want to do, which is preserve history. Well, here's a good way to do it. This is a great way to do it. You like those retro games? Get you that console right there. Get you this thing. It's a Chinese knockoff, yes. But you can make that work to your advantage when it comes to the fact of these things run games really well. Great Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 1, great emulation on all these consoles. And again, it's just the one device. That's it, just the one device. Bro, this thing is amazing. It's the RG351MP, which the MP is for the metal. But this is a great device, man. I've been able to play it non-stop, just going between games. I've been playing a lot of PlayStation on it. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 I played on there. It plays all the Resident Evils flawlessly. I mean, damn. I didn't know they were going to look that good. And they are impressive. You know, I've played these games before. I have all the Resident Evils. 0, 1, 2 remake, 3 remake, 4, 5, 6, Revelations 1 and 2, all on my Xbox One. So I have like the best graphical looking Resident Evils you're gonna get, unless you have the new consoles with the upgrade. That as far as with what you can find right now, most people can find the Xbox. So if you have the series, you're gonna have a better visual than mine because I'm on the one. But at the same time, for me, that's really not that bad. That's not that bad. And also, just to make a little slide against Nintendo because of this, all these games they're announcing for the Sega Genesis expansion, you can load every one of those bitches on this and play them without any kind of, like, there's just no reason for the expansion with the Nintendo, because this thing emulates N64 and motherfucking Sega Genesis. And again, while the Nintendo 64 I gotta figure out, because I think I need to get a different emulator on here for the N64. The Genesis works just fine. I've had no problems with it. I played Sonic 1. I played a weird Sonic 1. I think I played Sonic and Tails or Sonic 2. Um, I haven't played Sonic and Knuckles. But the games that I have played have run perfectly fine. They look really well because, again, smaller screen. The compressed image, it just looks better because it's very pixelated on a larger screen. I like the compressed image. Overall, this is a great console, man. I would very much recommend it if you're looking for something retro, especially if it's a portable you're looking for, so it can be convenient to you and personalized for you because it's a portable. I would go with this for my overall choice. And I just happened to go and find the name. He showed off in the video literally is a picture of the console with the word Anbernic on the bottom. And I looked and said Anbernic. I said, what the hell? Is that what that's called? Typed it on Amazon and this is what pulled up. So this one is, according to a bunch of different reviews, one of the best ones on the market. So I'm going to say the same thing. Best one on the market. That's a fucking fact. It's blown my mind completely, and I've only had it for the better part of going on, shit, I don't know, probably a week now. And only took it out the box a couple days ago. Been playing it for a couple days. But every time I play a game, because they're talking about you can't play this game or that game, that they said you couldn't play on it, it's handling it just fine. They said Gran Turismo wasn't going to work on there. Or Gran Turismo 2 isn't working. And I just played it just fine. It works fine. It plays and looks great. I'm like, yo. I think I might have like scored really good here with this thing. And it was under $200. And while I'm talking about this, when this was ordered, I ordered the carry case. That's right. I ordered the carry case for this console. And it is a very tiny case. This is small. And this is technically smaller by a lot. You see what I'm saying? By a lot. And it even has, like most of those Switch carry cases where it's got the thing in the middle. That's right, it's got a little bungee right there in the middle for my console. This thing is super dope. Love it to death. Definitely go look into seeing about getting you one. You can find them on Amazon. And if you get you one, get you the carry case. Get you a big ass SD card. Go format the big ass SD card to a FAT32. When the product arrives, takes that 64 gig out. That'll be separated from the device. Take that one, plug that one into your computer, plug in that blank SD that you formatted to the FAT32. That's 250 to 500 gigs. Take that 64, transfer it over to that 500. Bam, you now got 500 gigs of fucking space to throw everything you can dream on there that you would want to play on this thing and test it out and, I mean, have a blast. This thing is just fucking, this is what we've been wanting as gamers for the longest. A device that'll let you play what you want to play regardless of what the fuck it is. And it's just there to play, man. This is amazing. And I'm up out of here.